One. We're live.
Don't count me down. Everyone, I'm Danny. This is my friend Joe. Is it okay to call you a friend?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Hey, everybody.
This is one of Joe's 4 coin laundries. Joe is this guy that found me like a decade ago. We'll hear from him how this laundromat thing stuck in his head, how he searched for information, but he found me. I don't take any credit for putting people into these locations. They do it themselves. I'm just a tool, and the biggest tool in the tool shed. It takes a village, truly, and I'm just the village idiot. But the story with Joe, this guy is a big brain guy. He's worked for a big accounting firm. He's got a 6-figure job forever. And back in the day, when I started teaching and training and mentoring people how to do the free laundromat thing, I really focused on testimonials because I was astounded that people were constantly doing it and doing it right by simply seeing my course, which back then was a DVD. And they never told me. They didn't reach out to me. Just the preponderance of people that were using the information and opening stores in 28 countries, LA, New York, everywhere in between, they weren't really reaching out. So I told everyone, oh, you're going to get a refund of the tuition. That was sort of the impetus to have them reach out to me. And Joe is the guy that the whole time he said, I'm not going on YouTube. I'm not that. It goes to a lot of people's personality where they're just freaked out by fame, publicity, whatever you think. And I always tell the client and or friend, nobody's going to care. No one's going to give a shit. It's not like that. You're not going to be famous. YouTube is far, far too vast. And that tends to be true. We're going to talk about how it's not and how it is. But the sea change, Joe reaches out the other day and he says, I'm ready to go for store number 5, even though he's retooling store number 4. We'll talk about that. And he does speak here in a minute. Ask your questions of Joe, me. We're going to get to those at the end. So the sea change was, you know what, come out at some point and I'll do the YouTube thing. Well, Joe didn't know how I operate, but the flights were booked and we were here, I think, 3 days.
On the plane the next day.
Yeah, the next day. Because I don't want him to flake on me. That happens too. We've all been there at the bar with the girl and she goes to the bathroom and you never see her again. Another story for another day. I really want you to help out with some queries as far as how this all goes, but very, very thankful for you and being able to sit with us. We've been all fast and furious 4 days, 5 days here in greater LA visiting his stores. There's tons of content coming for you guys as far as how Joe's stores work and how he operates. But I do want to say this. This is my pit bull. This is my attack dog. So what Joe is such an intelligent guy. The forums, be it Reddit or Facebook is huge. When someone jumps on and says nothing's free, Joe is normally right there. If I've been tagged, I might see it or I may not. But I can't say enough about having this guy that's baits people, and he's far too smart to be trifled with when it comes to the spoken or written word. We all have friends like that. Like, oh man, I wish I were eloquent, or I wish I could do that. Well, someone will say there's nothing free, and then Joe will go in there and go, what do you mean by that, sir? And 4 or 5 paragraphs later, there's memes and bobbleheads, and Joe has crushed this individual with reality and truths. And I can't say enough about him just for that very reason. It's fun. It's not always, trust me, I see this stuff. Most of the time I really don't care, but sometimes it gets under your skin, internet warriors, etc. I've said enough. Do I need to ask you questions, or is there something you want to say?
For questions.
Yeah.
But the nothing is free. That one it blows my mind because it's so clear if you look at it. It doesn't it doesn't take a lot to see through how it all works. And yeah, when you get a free laundromat, you're gonna end up retooling. You know, you should end up retooling. Some people do different things, but yeah, you're gonna spend money on equipment. But the thing is, when you're buying a location, 9 out of 10 times you're gonna end up spending money retooling, because the people who are selling laundromats, a lot of times they're selling the exact type of laundromat that you can go out and negotiate a lease for and get for free. So either way,
and I think you're right. They take umbrage with nothing's free. And I dabbled with changing the name of my entire, I don't know what you call it, my system, my thing, my website, but it was a mistake. I didn't go through and buy new business cards because I don't have a business card. But I wavered for a moment, and it's because in 2019, I was the only guy on the internet talking about laundromats, other than distributors, other than everybody on the other side. And there was this Irish Spring, this awakening, this everybody wants a laundromat thing. It was because some viral videos went out, ASMR, people collecting coins, really doing everything wrong in these dumpy little laundromats. But fame is a funny thing, is it not? Some people freak out about celebs. So that whole awakening and that whole sea change in laundromats, that a little bit after that happened, I was like, maybe I should dump the free thing. But no, fuck it. You know, it is what it is, as they say. You get the infrastructure, but no one ever says, buy this laundromat for $300,000 because it has gas, water, electric, and three-phase, and the drainage is there, and it's right. No one ever says that. I've had a few landlords say, hey, you're smart, you're going after infrastructure, good for you, but they simply don't. I want to get into the nitty-gritty of you, who you are, what you're all about. Yes, the free thing. You're living, breathing, real proof.
I'm real, everybody.
That
I'm not Danny's alter ego.
Yeah, that it does and is working. We visited his store. You probably saw us on the live yesterday. Eric had me going to the wrong address. He's been reprimanded. He has the whip marks to prove it, and had us going to the wrong address, so we did the live on the drive. I am so utterly impressed. We did Man on the Streets. We grabbed some people that had never seen that store. We were buying them lunch, actually. Stay tuned. And we said, go look at that business. Go walk through that laundromat. And what was the guy's name? Andre. Andre was the coolest ever. He goes through there and he's like, all right, you know, it's a laundromat. What do you do, Andre? He's a chef. Do you frequent a laundromat? Nah, I gotta wash or dryer at home. Okay. What'd you think of the place? It's like, it's nice. It's air conditioned, you know, nice machines. 3,700 square foot store.
Yeah.
50 washers, 50 dryers, fully functioning laundromat. Joe got it for nothing.
Yes. Yep.
And when we told Andre, it's funny to see this reaction from somebody outside, because he's like, wait a minute, what? You know, how is that? I'm like, go to a free laundromat. I'm not trying to sell the guy a course. I'm just saying that, yeah, this is real. To see that deadpan look on the man's face.
If you have his number, I'll sell it to him.
But
sell it to him for $100,000.
That store was 400,000, then 3. This is what we see every single time. The price is normally 3. They want to sell the laundromat for whatever reason, 300,000. You know, you can't sell a drop top Jeep for 400 grand. It's not in the cards. There's a blue book. But for businesses, there is no blue book. So they turn around and try to sell them for 3. I don't know why. Or it's 1.5 million and then 1 million. But this one was 400,000, then 3, then 1. It ended up at 100 grand. You'll see the story later. We want to get the general gist of you. But it's, even to me, dude, you know, I live this, I breathe this. I've been doing this for 20 years. And it's crazy. I mean, but
it's the
why
thrill
would
of the
they?
hunt. That's the that's what I love. I love, you know,
Why would they do it?
scouting,
Why
looking
would they? Why would this? Why would so the landlord was the operator.
Yeah.
Give me the 3-sentence answer. Why would they give you this business?
Well, the landlord was the operator, and she's sick of going in on her weekends and dealing with it. She doesn't want to have to clear out drains and empty coin boxes. So she's much happier just getting a rent check. That's all she wants. She just wants to get a rent check and never come back.
It's the fear of being a landlord, right? When it's residential properties. I don't want to clean toilets. Everybody says that. And you don't have to clean toilets. If you have 150 houses, you can't even do it. You can't keep up with it. So you put good people in place. And that's pretty telling. Really, really telling the way that works. Now, keep in mind, the preponderance of the stores that we do this with are horrific. They're falling apart. They're disgusting. But like flipping houses, you go in and you see, okay, this is the worst house in the best neighborhood. The poor son of a bitch that lives there can't pay their mortgage any longer, and we're in the right place, right time. Now, trust me, there are tons of houses like that and laundromats like that, and what you're doing is going to the bank, buying the house for next to nothing, because the bank wants to recoup the cost, and then you put new floors and tiles in and you flip it. You sell it before your first month's mortgage comes due. Everybody knows this because you can spend a lazy Sunday watching these DIY shows where people are doing it. And of course, don't get me started. This is the same thing, only you keep the goose that lays the golden egg. You don't get rid of it and you retool it. So even that store, you're retooling.
Yes.
You're definitely retooling.
100%. Yeah, the equipment's ordered, financing is in place. Yeah, it's done.
You're probably, I've had landlord, I've seen the gambit. You'll never hear me say I've seen it all, but I've seen quite a bit where the landlord is fixated on the equipment and what it costs them and what it's worth. But in reality, they've made their money. They've squeezed the lemon dry. There's no more worth in the equipment. They don't give a shit what you do with it. Is that right?
That's correct.
So you already have, what do you figure the equipment that's in there is worth?
I'm going to try to sell it for about 30 grand.
Wow.
I think that's very much on the
quick.
low side. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have equipment coming on September 1st. So, it's got to go. Just, first
we're
person to write
coming
me
back.
$30,000
We're going to have to come back. We're going to have Joe use his phone and document the process because you guys want to see it. It happens really quick. Once the equipment arrives, did they have tile in there, huh?
They do have tile right now. We're going to rip that up, polish it, and polish the concrete.
Rip up the tile, polish the concrete. It's simple. You showed me a text, and I don't think we're not going to name names. We're not going to throw anybody under the bus. But this is something I do want to talk about. Joe is a real person. He's not hard to find. People can go on the interwebs and find him, and he's, again, the guy that's on the forums basically saying, go fuck yourself, Danny's a real person, and he's lovely. I may not be lovely, but who do you want on your side? And these folks are finding guys like Joe. Tell me about how did you get that DM or that text or it wasn't a text, right? I mean, they don't know your number.
It was through Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a Facebook Messenger, but the one from Friday was Reddit, and I could go back and we could look through close to every day I'm getting a message,
dude,
and they just want validation and
I love that.
Find out,
the word.
Is it
So, what was the message on Friday on Reddit?
Friday on Reddit was from a truck driver, and he was pondering getting your course. And I said, "Yeah, it's real. You could do it. Go for it." And he said, "Well, I think you could sell me your course." And I was like, "Oh gosh." So I spent.
He wanted you to resell him the course, like give him the code.
Yeah. So I spent a good half an hour, and this is where I get sucked in, explaining that, even if I did that, which I can't, but let's say that
you could.
I did, well,
but what a scumbag!
It's a login now. It's not even a physical DVD anymore.
Yeah.
So even
if I want to
did
get
that,
pissed off, I go onto eBay and I look up my DVD, and there's always one in there, and that's why I sell it on eBay, because it's the real guaranteed 100% you're getting the course. We don't even ship the DVD any longer, but I'm saying you want the course good. It's because I'm trying to get these. And what's funny is, like, you're not selling a Jumanji DVD that the kids are going to watch in the back of the minivan. You're selling information.
Yeah.
And I created it. And there's no copyright law that's going to stick on that. But I go on eBay and I did that thing so that people could say, oh, well, I'm going to get all the support and the background and Danny's email address and everything I
updated
need.
content.
And the updated content. Yeah, we updated it last week. All right, I'm steamrollering you, so I'm so pissed.
Okay.
So, dude, just give me the story. So you got on the telephone with him?
No, not
right.
not on Friday. But I spent a long time communicating to him why circumventing the process and actually going through and buying the course, like writing the check or swiping the credit card, the commitment that makes. And if you can't spend the $300, if you're really like where
that's what we're
just not in
talking
the
about,
cards.
is $289 because it always has been. I'm saying that freely because it'll always be that. It's a business card.
So if you can't do that, yeah, you could get a laundromat. You could do it without any money down. And you could get your store retooled. You could get that without any money down. But, your first week in, when someone breaks into one of your coin boxes or shatters a window because you got a homeless guy going crazy, when something comes up and you have to spend $300, what are you going to do at that point? So this isn't like it takes a ton of money, but if you're to the point to where you can't spend $300 on a course and you're that close to the bone,
yeah,
fix that first. You don't have to be rich, but just fix that first.
First,
and then,
I got 3 balls in the air. This is why I love the guy, because he's so advanced with the problem. But I want to say this. Some people normally from New York email me on the daily and they say, I don't know why they're always fucking New Yorkers, but they say, hey, I'm in New York. I want you to give me the name of somebody who's done this, who's one of your testimonials, one of your prodigies, because I want to talk to them. Otherwise, I'm not going to buy anything. You know what I write back? No.
Okay.
No. I say no.
Okay.
And I say, and this is what I'm saying to you and to you, you're not even willing to dip into your pocket. And this is sounding salesy. That's the second ball. It's not salesy. It comes down to human beings. Joe doesn't have to communicate with you. You know what I tell that guy in New York or LA or anywhere in between? I say no. But let me explain. The caveat is this. When you get your laundromat, sir or ma'am, do you want me to give your information out to some schmuck who hasn't even dipped into their pocket? Boom, done. And I'm telling you, all of my testimonials, my people, all the folks all over the world that are doing this, I got a text from Sam, who was one of my people in 2011. I've been doing this a long time. Rolled in there, saw him, same voice, same. I'm like, dude, you look great. He's lost weight. It's like we're old home week. I don't know how often he's being reached out to or communicated by these folks, but these are schmucks. I'm serious. You feel like you have to toe some line. I don't want you to do it. I want you to say, either get the course or do something else. That's all I want you to do. That's it. He showed me a text from a half an hour ago from someone who's already working with me. He and I are making phone calls to landlords, and it just incenses me that they think they need this validation. That's a perfect word. It really makes me mad because I don't see it. I don't know that it's going on, but I've seen it so much. I think it should probably be baked into the cake where I tell my new operators, hey man, people aren't going to be knocking your door down. There's going to be no pitchforks and torches with folks that want to know if it's real. But when they ask him or anyone that's successful through my program, my system, my course, when they ask you, it's an insult to both of us. I really think it is. It's none of their business. Hey, Vince, you're selling the slap shot. I'm going to call Vince's mom and ask her if it's real. It's fucked. Don't do it. Done, said. And I'm shot out of a cannon. We do these lives. We're going to get to your questions because we want to know what you want to know. And Joe is always crushed for time, not because of the laundromat, because he's a social friggin' butterfly. I want you to say, I want you to talk about the money, not the money. It's nobody's business. YouTubers are running around talking about dollars. They're lying. You said your other store, that store's grossing $30,000 a month that you took over for free. It's insane. It's good for 55, 60 grand. That's what it will be with new equipment. We know that. Here's my question to you. You're 4 laundromats deep. You quit your
Six-figure-a-year job.
figure job 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Walked away.
No, take this job and shove it. It wasn't that. It was just, can't do it anymore. Don't need it anymore. How do you feel? I'm not a touchy-feely person, but how do you feel? The specific question is, what's it like to be financially he's an accountant, guys. What's it like to be independent?
Well, you know, that's really what it's all about. It's that independence, which is amazing. You know, going into this 5 years ago, you know, I was you know, paycheck to paycheck, and you know, made a good salary, and you know, we live in a nice area, all that stuff. It was great, but every month, just really looking at every penny, and got the first one, got better, and it's just gotten better and better and better, to the point to where, you know, the job, it just wasn't that important anymore. I stayed there. In fact, I shared this story with Danny. I chose to exit the job at a certain time because I didn't want to stick my boss with a big deadline, and I didn't want to leave prior to that. So I stuck through it until 2 weeks ago today, and then I said, you know, I'm out. And it's
good job, good people.
Yeah,
and a lot of folks,
their
thing is, I can't wait to stop digging ditches. I can't wait to tell the boss to shove it. But in my experience, most people stay in the job because they're kind of like, oh, I've said it before, they're phoning it in, and they never get fired.
Yeah, and you know, if you like the people you work with, it's a different thing if you know, you're working for a terrible boss and you do anything to get out of there. But like you say, it's probably not as terrible as you really feel like it is.
Right.
It's the requirement of being there, and how there's no other option makes it feel really terrible.
You're a happy idiot. You're in there just doing the thing. Mm-hmm. When I was in the Navy, there were guys that were just happy, and I was like, "What are you in for?" And they'd say, "You're right. It was either this or prison," and they're all happy. Now, you grow up without shoes and you get some free boots when you join up. Again, those people are happy. Not everyone's a genius, Joe. In the job, the people can phone in the work, keep the benefits, but for you it was just, I get it, you know, it was enough. It's a big deal to quit a job to go to another job because it's an unknown, but this is it for you, and I'm so just thrilled about it. You're putting, I mean, you tell me, to be able to go out to dinner and not even look at the, I don't look at what things cost. Mm-hmm. Like that t-shirt, it's horrible, but you know, $30 in, it's his buddy's t-shirt company, so we're gonna see me wearing those soon.
Yes, absolutely. Matchbook Apparel.
Matchbookapparel.com. His free fucking plug. Eric, any good questions? From you guys, ask some more.
There's some good questions.
Why is Danny so? This is my good side, by the way.
The method of lease
Oh, he's
takeover-
trying to answer the phone. He's answering his phone.
Does the message of lease takeover taught in the course work in the UK?
Yes. Does it work in the UK? It does. I have success stories there.
Make sure you do your due diligence. Someone said that too.
Good.
But Joe can talk
Thank
about
you.
that in terms of what he did for due diligence.
Yeah.
Typically what I do now that I know a little bit more about it, when I find a potential store, you know, get all of the information so I can contact the landlord, I'll typically have the distributor run a demo report, because I want to see who lives nearby. That'll tell you how dense the population is and the makeup of the neighborhood. Here in LA, most neighborhoods can support a decent number of mats. That might be different in some other areas, and I see people on the internet say, this city has 3. It boggles my mind. Like, how do you know all of the laundromats your city has? But okay,
They probably
it has 3.
don't.
But here, I look at how many people live nearby, how many renters there are nearby, and then I look at how many laundromats there are nearby. There's some really dense areas of Los Angeles, and there aren't that many laundromats, and then most of the other neighborhoods, there's a lot.
There's no one more polar opposite to me than you. Looking at the stuff, there's nothing about demographics in my course because I don't believe in any of it. It's all voodoo. And you could be wronged if you think you're going into this, but your goal is profit, and that's what we do because we don't buy the business. Due diligence is normally, should I buy this business? Should I get
I'm paying worth it.
Right, for the price that they're asking? Do I need 100 vending machines on the street? What is that route worth? Well, why is the guy selling his route? Because he doesn't want to do it anymore. And now you're going to go in there all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. If there are only 3 stores in your town, and that's true, and we find out an overhead view it's correct, when you take over one of those places, it might be the worst of the 3, and you retool it, you're going to crush the other 2. That's my fly by the seat of the pants type of thinking, and that's me. Take over one, and then maybe the other 2 go away. Or maybe you take over the 2 on the outskirts of town and the guy in the middle is fucked. Sorry, not sorry. This is business, it's not friends.
Yep. It's the accountant in me that wants to, cover my bases.
And I love that. You don't talk about when it was time to sign your first lease. I negotiated it for you. That store now is another store, not this store.
Yeah.
But talk about that moment. I know that it was a big deal for you.
Yeah. So I was really, we had the lease in hand. I had it. I reviewed it. No gotchas. It was all great. And it really came down to, do I believe in it or do I not? And I called you. At that point, I was kind of leaning towards the not. I was scared.
I remember I was on the toilet.
And you told me I'm standing. I remember vividly the conversation. I remember where I was standing in my living room, and you told me I'm standing at the precipice. I either need to choose to jump or just walk away. And I chose to jump, and it's the best thing I ever did.
That's awesome.
Business-wise.
Because I don't remember it. I have those types of conversations, but I think that I was playing you. I don't play the cards, I play the man. And I think I told you what you needed to hear. Not in a bad way. And I meant it. To me, all of these decisions that people are making are up to them. If the kids at home are having a shit life, having a shit job, they're in a good relationship, right? They have that. They have good kids, a good dog. What do you want to say to them as far as perhaps doing laundries?
So one thing that I think about a lot when I read people moaning on the internet is so many people are happy being miserable, but knowing exactly what the misery is, than to do something different, potentially be incredibly happy, but not really knowing for sure what that looks like. So, I see people on the internet all the time. They're contacting me all the time.
Leave Joe alone.
And it's funny. It's you're doing something that you don't like. So many people, they start with, I do this job. Yeah. I don't know why they always want to volunteer exactly what they do for a living. And they typically give me the impression that they're incredibly unhappy doing that job. If you know that, how much worse can it be? That's the way I look at it.
If we wrap and say one thing, I want to say this, I truly mean it. If you're out there and you've got one store or 10 or 15, I don't even know what the record is. Don't feel compelled to talk to people about me, the process, how it works. I mean that. And I appreciate that you do it, but the standard line needs to be jump, and they're trying to get that validation, great word. They don't believe it. but it's also about them. And you're falling asleep at night. I want you to be thinking about your daughter, your wife, your family, not some schmuck, and not sorry, that wants that validation from you. It's end running me. Even the guy today that wrote you on Facebook, he's already working with me. And let's be honest, I've had people ready to sign the lease, standing there with an exquisite lease, with 12 months of free rent ahead of them, with a free running operating business, and I never hear from them again. They're scared shitless. They're afraid of success. So what you need to do, I did it myself. I built the empire myself. I'm an idiot. I looked for information, but even if there was a course or somebody that was out there guruing back then, I wouldn't have bought it. I wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me the perfect person to do this. Because people say endlessly, I think if there's any compliment you could give me, it's that I'm not a bullshitter. I've lied in relationships, back in the day, and it's terrible. Trying to chase the lie, you get deeper and deeper. Where was I on Friday night? Which friend is going to help me out of this? I don't do that. Absolutely anymore ever. Again, love, family, that's what life is about. We're all going to be gone soon enough. So the legacy, trust me, money alleviates some problems, but doesn't make you happy.
I'd agree with that.
It just does not. I could go on and on. This guy's got to go have lunch with somebody. Don't reach out to Joe. And it's not because I'm trying to keep him or any of my success stories behind some veil of secrecy. It's because he's a really nice guy, and most folks are. And at that moment, you're kind of like, I want to help Danny. Don't. I'm serious. I'm just shot out of a cannon because I just saw this text, and it's like, you're in the background. Don't spend any of your time during the day to do that. The internet's different. If you want to attack people on the internet and say, yeah, good luck, because they don't know who you are.
Yeah.
They just see this nameless, faceless person, and you drag them through the primrose path, and eventually you're like, well, Danny made me millions of dollars, and you're a schmuck. All right, anything else? This is the absolute last chance for you to say something, and I'm not even going to be here for it. Bye, everybody. I can't even hear you.
Actually, Danny, come.
Oh, God, I'm coming back.
This is the last thing. I'm going to hit you with something brand new.
Okay.
That it just came up last night. A friend called me cheap. I'm cheap. Because he knows the method. He knows your method, but he knows it is my method. And so he called me cheap. And it made me think a lot. And I was thinking, like, well, can I go faster? Can I do better? Am I being short-sighted by just looking for free opportunities rather than snatching up a ton of inexpensive opportunities, and maybe the volume will be better. And I spent a good amount of time, because when a friend says something like that, it's different.
Resonates,
It's different than the internet. So I thought about it, and I thought, Warren Buffett, and I am not Warren Buffett in any sense, but Warren Buffett doesn't go out and just snatch up any deal that he thinks will be profitable. He's not out there placing trades every day of the week. He's spending months or years looking for the opportunity to pick up the right asset at the right price, and then he invests in it in a big way. And he typically makes insane returns on it. And it's really the same thing, because could I go out and buy a bunch of locations here in Los Angeles and spend a relatively little amount of money based on what other people are paying? Yeah, I could do that, but at the end of the day, all of those locations would probably not give me the same return as one or two of the good free laundromats. So guys, do Danny's course, do his system. It's the right way to do it. It's silly to waste 50 grand, 100 grand, 300 grand, because they're all 300, and it's just, doing what Danny does, doing what Danny advises, it's the right way to do it. So do it, you'll be happy. And thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. I love you, man. Appreciate you. Shake the
Right.
guy's hand after 10 long years.
10 years, a decade.
I'm not big into the whole salesy thing, but the truth is, I'm the perfect guy to teach you how to get into the laundromat business. Proof positive. Just jump. I appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you, everybody.
Later.
I'm just gonna stand up
He's gonna stand up.
and show my
Show his shirt.